The information that is being leaked and seeped out is something. Before we get into today's video, though, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below.
I second that.
Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere.
I second that too. Okay, so I'm not going to put in the description. It says it right here. We're watching a video today on Christina Randall, and I'm going to react to it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here,
welcome to my channel, too.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber,
please subscribe to me too. Thank you.
Y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing
Y'all aren't my babies, but you guys are my friends.
Day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys here in America at least got a 3-day weekend, meaning I hope you guys are off today.
All right, I'm going to skip a little so we can get to the meat and potatoes.
The situation with the 4 Idaho college students. I have a whole entire playlist if you guys need to get caught up.
I didn't skip far enough.
You know, doing full-on investigation, taking videos and pictures, and he had a 5-person team, which for those of us that's been in the system and has had a public defender, shout out to my public defenders, we love y'all. You know dang good and well we don't get all that treatment. We're lucky if that public defender comes in there with a ruffled hair to talk to us for 5 minutes, slam a paper down, tell us what our deal is, we better take it or not, and then they're gone. By the way, everything in this video is very, very public information, filtered through my own personal opinion. That's unprofessional. Go do your own research, form your own opinions. Just don't show hate to anybody anywhere.
Same here. I give my opinions. You guys that have been watching me know that. And, yeah.
Seemingly like he's got this like A1 attorney team now, and we already know that his attorney / public defender court appointed attorney she's got a reputation, okay, a good reputation for doing what she does very well. And we talked a few videos back about how it was kind of giving Casey Anthony vibes with like her attorneys and how they blew up. That's how they became famous. It was basically their claim to fame. And so we're wondering if it was the same with her. Well, it's just been released.
Yeah, everybody was, you know, thinking that Jose Baez and Casey Anthony were having a relationship on the side.
That Brian Kohberger's attorney is getting paid $200 an hour. And I believe it's her assistant that's getting paid, or her paralegal, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, is getting paid like $150 to $180 an hour.
Well, I guess the taxpayers are, in Idaho are paying all that, right? Because Kohberger's not paying that.
So and this is why I say I'm back and forth with it, because I'm like, okay, we want him to have a good defense, because if he's guilty, we want to make sure, case closed, seal the deal, bye-bye, and nobody can come back later and say, oh, well, he didn't have the right attorney, or he needs an appeal, or mistrial, or whatever. So,
yeah, but why doesn't the average citizen get an attorney that's, you know, worth $200 an hour, right? Like she said, why do the rest of us get a public defender that doesn't give a shit about you know, our case and just tells us to take a deal, right? Or plead guilty because they don't want to do any work, right? I mean, it should be the same all the way around, especially if you killed 4 people. That's my opinion.
In one aspect, you want it to be good, that way it can be right, but then the other aspect is like, come on. And I'm just going to let y'all know now, especially after we talk about what we're going to talk about next, when this goes to trial, if it goes to trial, This is going to be a big deal, you guys. This is going to be so big and massive and huge, more than it is even now, because of the witnesses and the evidence. And I do say if it goes to trial, because just the stuff that we know so far that they have against Bryan Kohberger is pretty incriminating. And
well, it's going to go to trial unless Kohberger confesses, right? And I don't think that's going to happen because he keeps saying allegedly that he can't wait to get exonerated, which he hasn't even been convicted of anything. So, that doesn't make sense. But, yeah, I mean, he keeps saying that he's going to be getting off. So it looks like it's definitely going to trial unless he does a complete 180 and realizes that he's not going to get away with it, and he's gonna get put in, the firing squad if he doesn't take a deal, right?
There's a gag order, which means there's so much more that we don't know. And I don't know, is Bryan doing kind of a thing like Aiden Fucci did? Are they sitting around trying to get deals, and they're going to try to stretch it out and see how much the prosecution has and try to get a deal at the end? Because if this goes to trial, you guys, it's going to be insane. So let me talk about this. So
I kind of hope it goes to trial. I mean, I can't wait to watch that, right? I'm betting a lot of you want to see that trial too, and that way we get to see all the evidence, and then we can all decide for ourselves, whether we think he's guilty or not, and we'll know all the evidence, and a lot of these questions will be put to rest, right?
So the family of Ethan Chapin is pissed, and I don't blame them.
Well, it's not just Ethan Chapin, right? It's Kaylee's family's pissed, and I'm not sure about the others, but I know at least Kaylee's family, is pissed too.
They're mad, and seemingly, because Dylan didn't call 911 when she heard all these noises. Now, when we read the affidavit,
she waited 9 hours, and then she didn't even call. She called her friends and had what's his name? Allegedly Hunter call, right?
David that was released, the arrest affidavit for Bryan.
One of the two roommates who survived the fatal November stabbings of 4 University of Idaho students told investigators she saw a masked man dressed in black in the house the morning of the attack. According to a probable cause affidavit and prosecutor's case against Bryan Kohberger, the roommate identified in the document as Dylan Mortensen said she heard crying in the house the morning of the murders and heard a male voice say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." What was he going to help them with, right? Dylan said that she saw a figure in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. It's the same kind of mask that we saw that picture of Bryan Kohberger wearing, right? The picture that has gone viral, right? Dylan Mortensen described the figure as 5'10" or taller, which would fit Kohberger's description. Male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Dylan as she stood in a frozen shock phase. Okay, that also fits Kohberger's description. She didn't see anybody else. Okay, so everybody that's saying there was 3 or 4 guys, well, how come Dylan didn't see any of them or hear any of them then, right? Yeah, please put that in the comments if you're one of the people that think there was 3 or 4 guys helping Bryan in the house. How come Dylan didn't see them exit, right? Or didn't hear him, right? She didn't tell the police that. So I would love to hear, you guys that think there was all these guys there, like like at J Rod Speaks, that Justin guy that did the interview with Truth and Transparency. He said there was 4 guys. He said he was working with the defense and all that shit. He deleted it from his channel. Truth and Transparency deleted it from their channel, but I have my reaction on my channel. I encourage you to go watch that.
And it said in there that, like, she was frozen in fear. She heard all this stuff, like somebody is in here, or she was in a shock, frozen in a shock phase because she opened the door and she saw a man walk past her in a black hoodie with a mask on. The cops didn't get called until like 6 to 8 hours later. Where's the missing link? And we all been trying to figure out, did she pass out? Did she think it was a friend? What happened? Well, Ethan's family is pretty upset. I'm pretty sure
there's a discrepancy on how long she took. She said 6 to 8 hours. I think I have been hearing it was more like at least 8 or 9 hours. So it was definitely more than 6, and that's what I've been hearing. But let me know in the comments what you guys have been hearing, how long it took Dylan to call, or not Dylan, but anybody to call 911.
they're not the only ones. And before I get into how I feel...
And real quick, remember, there is no such thing as being frozen in fear for more than a couple seconds, minutes at the max, okay? I've done a video with a doctor. You can go look at that video. There is no such thing as being frozen in fear. So, once she got out of that frozen in fear state, why did she still wait hours and hours to call the cops, right?
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with Ethan's family, and I try to be sympathetic or empathetic to everybody involved, because the 2 surviving roommates are victims as well. Okay, they are. However, if one of the 4 students who lost their lives was my children, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be going, why this? If you heard all of this noise...
Well, I wouldn't be so quick to call them victims yet, right? Because we don't know all the information yet, right? We don't know, like we said, we know there's an informant, right? A police informant, okay? We don't know if somebody did help Kohberger. We don't know if I mean, this is total speculation again, but we don't know for a fact if Dylan helped Kohberger open the door or helped him by not calling the police for so long or something like that, right? I mean, I'm not accusing Dylan of anything, but I'm just saying let's wait until we have all the information until we say that they're victims. I mean, right? They didn't even see the bodies or anything because they had somebody else go into the rooms, right? So
if you heard these things, why didn't you call somebody? Why didn't you call 911? Maybe one of the 4 students' lives could have been saved.
That's exactly what I've been saying. Go back and fact check me if you don't think I have. But yeah, I mean, Dylan could have saved one of their lives if she called right away. I mean, she watched Kohberger walk out the sliding glass door. Close your door, put something in front of it, barricade the door if you're that scared, and call 911. You know, we know she had a phone, okay?
What if paramedics would have gotten there? What if, right? Like, as a parent, those are the things that we would be thinking. So I don't blame them. So listen to this. The family of the Idaho murder victim, Ethan Chapin, questions why surviving roommate Dylan didn't call the cops after hearing crying, screaming, and claims she called all of the girls in the house rather than calling 911.
Does that make sense to anybody? If it doesn't make sense, hit the like button for me. I want to see how many of you guys think it does not make sense. If you think it makes sense, then please put in the comments and tell me why you think it makes sense.
So the article says this: his sister-in-law has since revealed that Dylan, who was in the property at the time of the incident, along with the other roommate, surviving roommate, whose name is Bethany, called all of the roommates after she heard screaming and crying coming from the rooms. I want y'all to really let that seep in. She's in this house, and the screams and cries of Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, Ethan.
Fuck calling them. Why didn't they go into their rooms and check on them, right? I mean, if I had a roommate and I heard them crying and I heard some weird voice that I've never heard before, and I'm hearing, a struggle and thuds and somebody say, "I'm here to help you," and all this crap, I'm going to check on my roommate. Especially if I'm really good friends with them, right? I mean, wouldn't you guys? Would you guys just sit in your room and just call when you could just go in the other room and make sure? That doesn't make sense to me at all either.
And she called their phones, but obviously none of them answered because they were in the process of being attacked. And then that was it. Now,
yeah, well, Madison and Kaylee were most likely already stabbed by that point, right? And by the time they heard all that, Koberger was probably in Ethan and Xana's room, and that's when Bethany probably heard, all the crying, because Bethany was on the first floor, and Ethan and Xana's room was right above hers, and then Dylan heard the Brian say, or the killer say, "I'm here to help you," when he was in Xana and Ethan's room, right? All they had to do was just go and see why they were crying. Why call when you're in the same fucking house?
Ethan's sister-in-law in this post said she needs to explain herself and her actions of that night, and I absolutely agree. Why didn't she call? Now, there could be reasons, and you guys know I like to think about it from every person's point of view.
I guess she hasn't yet, maybe because of the gag order, right? But, I mean, we're going to keep asking these questions until there's a valid explanation, and right? So, I mean, some people keep asking, "Oh, leave her alone, don't ask these questions." Why not ask these questions? These are very relevant and important questions that need to be answered.
There's rumors, and I don't know, it's going to come out in this trial, if there's a trial, because she's going to have to testify. It could have been that she was on substances. It could have been...
That's what I think personally. I think she was probably either she was high on drugs, or she had some drugs in the house and she didn't know what to do. She was panicking about all that, right? She didn't want the cops there with all the drugs that she had. She didn't want to get in trouble herself, right? That's what I personally believe. If you believe that too, hit the like button. If you think something different, then please put in the comments what you think, and then maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know, but I would love to hear from my fans out there.
And because they had the cops called there for loud noises before. I just can't help but to wonder, though, when you're...
Yeah, but that was parties and stuff, right? That wasn't screaming and crying and thuds, right?
Talking about screaming and crying, it almost had to be a different type of scream and cry than she typically heard. But she's going to have to get on a stand and testify exactly what she heard and why she didn't call 911. And I can tell y'all, the defense is going to tear her apart about that.
I totally think so too, right? Because I can't think of a good explanation on why she waited that long. I mean, I don't think there is a good explanation, to be honest with you, right? But yeah, this video is running a little long. I don't like going over 20 minutes. If I get enough likes and views on this, I'll do a part 2. And I hope you guys liked it. Until next time, True Crime King out.